Have you ever heard a question that sounded innocent, but deep inside something told you it was wrong? A gentle tone, a harmless smile. And yet the moment you answered, you realized you had just stepped into a game you could never win. This is the art of the liar. They don't just lie with words, they lie with questions. And if you can't see through the disguise, you'll get trapped doubting yourself, apologizing for things you never did, until you start fighting against yourself instead of them. The ancient Romans knew this well. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, they warned us. A liar rarely attacks head-on. They plant tiny seeds of doubt and wait for you to destroy yourself. 2,000 years later, the tactic hasn't changed. It's only become more subtle. In today's video from Save Yourself, we'll break down the 5 most dangerous questions liars ask to manipulate and control you. More importantly, I'll show you how the Stoics would respond, calmly, clearly, unshakably. And by the end, you'll have the tools to ensure you'll never be anyone's pawn again. So stay until the end, and if you find value here, consider subscribing. Not for me, but for yourself, so you never miss the next lesson that could sharpen your mind and strengthen your spirit. Question 1. Why are you being so sensitive? At first it sounds harmless, almost like concern. But don't be fooled. This is the first bullet fired by the gaslighter. Because hidden inside that question is not curiosity, it's accusation. What they're really saying is, you're weak, you're imagining things. The problem isn't me, it's you. Pause for a moment. Think back. Have you ever been in a relationship where the moment you pointed out something wrong, you were brushed aside with a laugh? Oh, you're just too sensitive. Or maybe at work, you questioned the ethics of a decision, only to hear, don't overreact, it's just business. That's not concern. That's a weapon. Because what they're trying to do is strip you of your greatest defense, your awareness. They want to twist your sensitivity, your radar for danger, into a weakness. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Manipulators know this. They plant seeds of doubt in your imagination until you start believing you're the problem. But here's the truth. Sensitivity is not weakness, it's awareness. The person who feels deeply often sees the cracks before anyone else. A financial analyst mocked as paranoid, but later proving fraud. A wife dismissed as overreacting, only to uncover betrayal months later. In both cases, sensitivity was not a curse. It was the early warning system. So what would a Stoic do? Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone can prove me wrong, I will gladly change, for it is truth that I seek, not victory." A person who truly values you will never shame your awareness. Only those hiding something fear your perception. So next time someone says, "Why are you being so sensitive?" Don't get angry, don't defend. Simply reply, "I'm not being sensitive, I'm being observant." Does that make you uncomfortable? One sentence, and you'll watch the mask begin to slip. Question 2. You trust me, right? It sounds so gentle, so innocent, but beneath the surface, it's a trap. Anyone who demands trust instead of earning it has already revealed their hand. A trustworthy person doesn't need to ask for your faith. Their actions speak louder than words. But when someone insists, "You trust me, right?" what they're really saying is, "Don't think, don't question, just hand me the keys to your mind." Epictetus warned, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Liars use that question to shut down curiosity, to make you feel guilty for being cautious. But caution is not betrayal. Caution is wisdom. Think of the business partner who hides the numbers and says, "Trust me," or the lover who hides their phone and yet repeats, "Don't you trust me?" They're not building trust. They're demanding blind faith. And blind faith is the breeding ground of betrayal. So how would a Stoic respond? Not with panic, but with calm detachment. This is apatheia,
not letting emotion override reason. When faced with, "You trust me, right?" Pause, breathe, and reply, "Trust is earned through consistency. Are you asking me to ignore my judgment?" That line flips the frame. A liar will stumble or lash out, but a person of integrity won't be offended. They'll simply keep proving their honesty. Remember, trust isn't a gift under pressure. It's a fortress built stone by stone. The Stoic never forgets. Give that fortress away too soon, and you surrender your peace. Question 3. Are you accusing me of something? This one is clever. A shield disguised as a question. You raise a concern, and suddenly the spotlight flips. Wait, are you accusing me now? In an instant, you're no longer the observer, you're the villain. That tactic forces you into defense mode. You rush to explain, to backpedal, saying, No, that's not what I meant." And in that moment, you lose your power. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best answer to anger is silence." But silence isn't surrender. It's refusing to play their game. Imagine a courtroom where the guilty make the judge apologize. That's their goal. So how do you respond? With composure. When someone snaps, "Are you accusing me?" Don't rush to fill the silence. Hold your ground. Wait a few seconds, then calmly say, "Should I be?" 3 words, but they pierce the mask. Because liars expect panic. They never expect power. A boss accused of missing funds? "Are you accusing me of stealing?" A partner questioned about secrecy. "Are you accusing me of cheating?" The goal is the same, to turn truth into guilt. But the Stoic knows truth doesn't panic, and wisdom never apologizes for observation. Remember, those who ask, "Are you accusing me?" often reveal more than they realize. Question 4. Would I ever lie to you? This one is poison wrapped in velvet. It sounds tender, almost wounded, but it's not about honesty. It's about guilt. Because if they can make you feel guilty for doubting, you'll stop asking. Would I ever lie to you? Isn't a question. It's theater. It's meant to make them look noble and you look cruel. But the Stoics remind us truth never offended by scrutiny. Seneca wrote, "If it is not true, do not say it. If it is not right, do not do it." A person of integrity doesn't need to convince you. They let actions speak. The partner who hides her phone and says, "Would I ever lie to you?" The coworker dodging accountability who pleads innocence. Both are performing. So how would a Stoic respond? Pause. Let silence do its work. Then say, "That's not the question. The question is, would I know if you did?" That single line flips the power. Liars thrive in fog. You just turned on the floodlight. Remember, honest people don't fear questions. Only liars do. Question 5. Can't we just move on? This is the liar's final move, the exhaustion play. When denial and distraction fail, they beg for closure. Can't we just move on? It sounds peaceful, but it's not about healing. It's about escape. What they're really saying is, "I don't want accountability." And that's how lies survive. Not because they outsmart the truth, but because you grow tired. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Truth has no expiration date. A company caught in scandal. Let's focus on the future. A spouse exposed in betrayal. Why keep talking about it? Both are asking for silence, not resolution. So how does a Stoic respond? Calmly. When they say, "Can't we just move on?" Reply, "I'll move on when I understand what happened, not before." That sentence anchors you in truth. Liars hate it because they thrive on exhaustion. But when you stand firm, their game collapses. Remember, moving on isn't about speed, it's about honesty. Stoic mindset to resist manipulation. Liars don't need logic, they need your emotion. They'll guilt you, shame you, and drain you until you doubt yourself. That's their battlefield, emotion, not truth. Epictetus taught, "Some things are in our control, others are not." When you know what belongs to you, you can't be enslaved by manipulation. Their feelings aren't your responsibility. Your awareness isn't weakness, it's strength. And time itself is neutral. Truth has no deadline. The Stoic doesn't react at the liar's pace. He observes, breathes, and strikes with reason. Imagine standing in a storm. Winds roar, thunder crashes, but inside, you are unmoved. That's Stoicism. Calm when others lose control. Because here's the secret manipulators never expect. Their greatest weapon only works if you react. Take away your reaction, and their weapon shatters. The Stoic knows silence is strength, observation is power, detachment is freedom. So the next time